It's Monday, July 26th, and it's almost the end of July and almost the end of summer. Thank you for joining us on Up to the Minute. I'm Dr. Tony Rail Sutherland with Raquel Sims. How are you, Raquel?
I'm doing good. How are you? And just hearing you say it's July 26th, I can't even believe we breezed through July already.
I know, it's already gone. Oh my God. Well, tell us, Raquel, a little bit about how everybody can find HCC on social media and other things.
Yes, please follow us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at Houston Community College District. And we have a special treat. We are back on the cable television station, you all. We are airing on the HCCTV channel at noon and 5. It's going to be happening at noon and 5, so don't miss it. It's going to be running Monday through Friday, so check your local listings.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, now it's Music Monday, and we do have a carefree anthem indie rock band that's supposed to come on with us today. They're having a little trouble getting on, but I think they'll be here. I just can't wait. I think their name is Dress, which sounds very neat. But before we go to them, we have our new HCC Diversity, Equity, easy for me to say, an inclusion officer, Dr. Donna Davis. Hi, Dr. Davis. How are you doing?
Hi, good morning. I'm well. How are you?
Doing fine. Well, we really welcome you to the show and to Houston Community College. You haven't been with us very long, is that right?
That's right. Thank you. It's been 4 months. It's hard to believe it's gone by that fast, but just a little over 4 months at this point. I started March 22nd. So,
Wow. Well, I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself, but first, those words, HCC Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer. What exactly is that position?
Great question. Wonderful question. And so, the diversity, equity, and inclusion officer is the person that provides synergy to this area college-wide that ensures that our strategic plan regarding diversity, equity is met, interfaces with all stakeholders in terms of student success, the Senate, certainly in talent engagement with our staff. So it's an all-encompassing position, ensures that there is diversity, even with our missions, all the way through our promotions, with employees, and that there's equity once those individuals are there. So equity within any of our programs, our activities, our education that we're offering, and then being inclusive of all individuals regardless of their or background. So it's a lot, but it's important. It's important, and I'm happy to be part of the process. I really am.
Wonderful. Now, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background before you came here.
Sure, absolutely. So I am a lawyer by and have been for 25 years. The first 5 years of my career, law-specific positions, and then in higher ed for over 20 years, having started in the university setting and have worked in multiple universities, associate dean and other senior executive leadership positions, but then mid-career switch gears and went into diversity specific. Even though I've been involved with diversity on the law school side, I accepted the call to be more involved in a university-wide position and have done that under the lens of compliance and equity, as well as diversity, equity, inclusion, having also been a former diversity officer. And so I am a member of the National Association of Diversity Officers in Higher Ed, and I have worked in this space and am very excited to be here at HCC to provide synergy to some of the great things that are already happening at the college. So that's just a little bit about me.
We're a very diverse college anyways. We have one of the largest international student population and everything. So, we're diversity. We're the definition of diversity, I think.
Sure, definitely. Mm-hmm.
So, now when you started, as you said, it was about 4 months ago or so. It was during the COVID-19 pandemic when we were all closed up and everything was remote and all of that kind of thing. How did you navigate through that with a new position and everything? That had to be difficult.
It is difficult. It's challenging. I think having already in my prior position been remote for over a year and being able to navigate that during just overseeing, I had a team of individuals that I oversaw in that process. And so just being able to ensure that you have best practices in place for engaging with people and also that life-work balance. I think it's very easy when you're remote to spill over until the evening hours because you're not going and jumping in your car and driving home. And so it was challenging, but I've been able to do somewhat of an introduction tour throughout the college and have been meeting key individuals. I've been meeting different teams and units and will continue to do so. And I think that's been very helpful given the technology that we have in this virtual world. So I've been able to manage it very well.
Wonderful. Well, tell us a little bit about your vision and your philosophy for diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Sure. My vision really is based around the dialogue that happens across experiences and differences. And so in mentioning diversity, the mosaic of differences that are represented within any particular organization. I think in order to further DEI at HCC, we must be willing to have sustained dialogue. So not only one conversation or one training or one workshop, but being willing to sustain our dialogues across these different so that we have a better understanding of individuals' experiences that may be somewhat different than our own.
What are some strategies, I guess you might say, that you can think of that you want to pursue to help to meet this goal?
Absolutely. So I am starting a diversity leadership council that will allow representatives from every campus to be represented. I've already spoken with our various presidents regarding that. And having a diversity leadership council, then everyone's voice will be at the table. We'll be able to share information. There won't be this silo pocket where individuals on the left side don't know what the right side are doing. So that's one of the things. And then also implementing a certificate program that allows individuals to have a menu of different training workshops, microaggressions, unconscious bias, privilege, race and conflict. So there are different workshops provided, but also looking at the system of how we engage in not only our hiring practices, our admissions practices, but then also working with the individual committees that are in place. For instance, the Faculty Senate has a diversity, equity, and inclusion committee that have done great work over a period of time. So being able to put some of those things in place with our system regarding the DEI plan, which will also be implemented this academic year to ensure that we have checks and balances on what we say are commitments. And I know that we do have a commitment, but we also have accountability.
So what do you think are some challenges in an institution like ourselves for this? Any challenges I know there are challenges, but I mean, what are the biggest things that you think that you're going to need to overcome or anything?
Well, we're a very large college. And so one of the things we need to overcome is the communication around the space. And so that's why it's so incredibly important, the dialogue, conversation. Some of those conversations are different. They are challenging, and that's okay. And I think it's important for us to welcome and embrace the fact is sometimes a difficult subject to discuss. But when we're willing to be open, when we empathy for others, regardless of what our differences, our experiences may be, then we are able to the bond that we have at the college that then actually push forward what in the space is and will allow us with the DEI plan to meet the expectations that are there among the college, regardless of what campus individual are on.
So how can the HCC community itself support the DEI?
Get involved. Ensure that you're attending events. Contact me. I am an office of 2 right now. It's myself and a senior administrative assistant who is wonderful, who just came on board as well. But we have a lot of great work to do this year. And to the extent that your organization, whether you're a student, staff, or faculty member, are wishing to host some sort of DEI event, we need to collaborate, partner, support what that event is in order to further agenda regarding DEI. When you see there are workshops, when we have speakers, get involved. Certainly internally, working with different units regarding DEI and strategy, ensuring that we are meeting expectations that will be rolled out with the DEI plan. Get involved, volunteer, reach out to me if you have questions. Not be in a silo of misunderstanding. Let's ensure that we strengthen our communications of this academic year regarding DEI.
Well, we appreciate all that you do and all that you're going to do. And we also appreciate you being on our show. And we're going to have information that we'll post after the show so that if people want to get in touch with you, have any questions or anything, that volunteering, whatever, that they can get in touch with you. So thank you so much, Dr. Davis. We appreciate it.
No, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. Looking at the new academic year.
Yay. Okay, now we're going to move on to Dress, an indie rock band, and our Music Monday guest. Can't wait for this. Raquel, you have this special guest. I'm excited. Talk to me.
I'm excited. One thing I like about Mondays, even though it's the start of the Money Making Mondays, it's Music Monday, and I'm a music lover. So I have Dress here with us today. Now I'm going to introduce the individual members, but I believe we have Michael. Please correct me if I misspell your name or missay your name. Michael Dong?
It's Michael Ndong.
Ndong. Okay, I was almost close.
Yeah, you're close enough.
And you are the best set. Tell us a little bit about yourself. And I know you have some others listed on here as well, but we don't see them.
Yeah, so I'm the only one representing the band today, but I do know enough about my brothers to be there for them. So I'm Michael. I'm the bassist of Dress. I've been in the band for about 3.5 years now, and band's existence has been 5 years. We play, feel good indie rock music. We play around Houston, Texas, shows such as White Oak Music Hall, Warehouse Live, and now we're trying to expand and do shows in college campuses in Houston and other places in Texas as well.
Well, I love that. I know you don't have your members here with us today, but tell me, how did you all meet?
So the 2 members, there's 2 brothers in the band, the lead vocalist, Quentin Hockaday, and Brandon Hockaday plays rhythm synthesizer. But before Dress existed, the 2 brothers were a rap duo. And one day, one of our rapper friends, Kenzo, introduced those 2 to Chris and inspired those 2 to become rock stars. So they went from being rappers, from Q to going to a lead vocalist, and then E to playing guitar and synth. And eventually, down the road, I just moved to Texas, and I was in a completely different band, and I met these guys at a show. And when my last band broke up, we were just like, "Hey, you want to be the bassist for us?" I'm just like, I like the music you have now. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I love that. Well, before I move on to this next question, I want to know, where are you from? I'm
from Southeast London.
Wow. What brought you to Houston?
Well, it's a long story what brought me to Houston. I moved to Houston 4 years ago from Miami. I did high school in America and wanted to change in Florida. I heard music's really cool in Texas. So I'm like, let's give Texas a try.
Well, speaking of that, how do you think the music scene in Houston holds up for the genre of music you play?
I firmly believe that the Houston music scene is quite amazing. And, what I love about this city, people, they find something they support, they really support it. And, I'm always very grateful for the fans that come out to our shows. And absolute pleasure.
Well, all right. Well, let us know next time you perform so that we can come check you out. What has influenced you to make music? I know there has to be some inspiration behind all of this.
Well, I would say one of our biggest influences for the bands is this American band called The Drums. And, they're big influencer to our bandmates, Q and B. One of my big influences is favorite bands growing up is a band Block Party from London. And personally, my favorite bassist got me into bass is Victor Wooten and Marcus Miller. That's on the jazz side, jazz and funk and soul.
Oh, okay. Would that be a great way to describe how your music is a mixture of jazz, funk, or if you had to give us an idea of how your music is represented, what would it be?
Well, our music is definitely classified as indie rock, alternative music. But we do have influences from other genres. Some songs like one of our big EPs, Listen, that we released in 2019. It stands for Last Year, Summer Never Ended. It's more of a beachy vibe. The music we make today has a bit more of a melancholy, but with a groove to it, groovy bass line, pop and drums, ambient guitars.
Okay. What is next for Dress? Any future shows or music that we can expect?
Well, right now we are working on music. We're having 2 singles coming out soon. I do not have a date on it yet, so we'll leave that to be a surprise. But to keep updated with all information, you could always go to our website, which is wearedress.com. Dress with 1 S, of course, wearedres.com. And Instagram, it's just at wearedress_. And you can always find all our content, shows, music, links to Spotify, all the streaming platforms. And you can even get download copies from our website.
I gotta ask you, hi, it's Dr. Tony. I gotta ask you, how did you come up with the name Dress? How did that come up?
Thinking that.
I mean, I'm interested.
Well, Dress, Dress used to be an acronym because when I was in the bands, Dress didn't have a bass player. They used to have 2 guitar players, but no bassist. So it used to be drums. It used to stand for drums, rhythm, electric guitar singer, and the underscore was no bassist. But I joined the band, so there was still a bassist in the band. So. But the name stuck, so we're like, no, we're going to keep the name just because we have a basis in the band.
I love it. And for those that aren't real familiar with what indie means, can you explain it a little bit?
Well, indie rock is basically, a modern rendition of new wave music in the 80s and 90s. So from bands like The Cure, just, more modernized today, but with a poppy punch to it.
Sounds good. Well, cool. I've got musicians all around me, husband, son. I'm in the band, so I'm kind of familiar with what you're talking about, but I just wanted to, because not everybody knows all the different terminologies, so that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Tony, you kept that from us for years? You were in a band?
It's a classic rock band.
I love it.
What did you play in the classic rock band?
Percussion and vocal.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. The congas.
Congas. Auxiliary percussion.
Yep. Okay. Anything else, Raquel?
I want to say that was everything in a nutshell. Thank you so much for being on here, Michael, and representing your band. We're happy to have you as our Music Monday guest, and we will have your info in our post after the show. And we look forward to coming to see you perform in person.
I wish we could hear you sing or hear you play. I want to hear your music.
Well, we have our music is on all streaming platforms. You could always find us on Apple Music and Spotify. You just got to put DRES _ and it will come up.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have a good one.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank
Well, today is our regular Monday segment also with our wonderful Raquel Sims, who is producer in the Stafford station, METV, and she's going to tell us some things that they are going to highlight in the news.
Yes. So, Stafford, it's like once everyone kind of went back in campus, things are slowly but surely picking back up to the normal schedule. And one of the things was the summer football camp. So the athletes came back and they're getting prepared for the fall season. So I had a chance to speak with the wide receiver coach, and he was just sharing about how, the athletes are happy to be back on the field, what drills they're working on, and how they're trying to prepare to win district this fall. So I'm excited. And also, Randall had an opportunity to speak with an artist from the Fort Bend Symphony Orchestra. Ooh. And he has his own thing on the side, but he spoke about how artists performed during the pandemic, case in point with the Music Monday guest that we had, and how he created different ways or avenues to not only perform with artists, but represent yourself as a brand. It's more than just, it's networking.
It's so important. You can be the best musician, the best artist, the best whatever, but if people don't know who you are and you don't know how to get yourself out there, what good is it? Not what good is it? It's always good, but it doesn't help you.
Right. I completely agree. And it's important. So I'm happy that he was able to do a piece about that. And speaking of just awareness, Fernando had a chance to interview with the USA Gloves, which is a PPE business that literally thrived overnight during the pandemic. I want to say they started right in the midst of the pandemic 2020, and they have grown to become one of the largest PPE companies in the country. And now they're operating in Stafford and bringing new opportunities to Stafford. So that's an exciting fact. And so Fernando was able to speak with the owner, and we have a lot of different things coming up for the station. So we're excited, but to stay tuned, please follow us on all social media platforms, on Facebook at HCC Stafford TV Studio, and on YouTube at HCC Stafford TV Studio, and also on Twitter at HCC. This is one that's different, Southwest, but it's SW TV Stafford.
Okay, we'll have all that information at the bottom of the show so you can see how to get to everything. Thank you, Raquel.
Thank you.
Also, HCC continues its Apple Swift coding summer camps for middle school and high school students, but you have to hurry. We have the link to register in our post after the show. It's from 9 a.m. to noon, Monday through Friday. July 26th starts July 26th, which is today through the 30th at Southeast College, the East Side. So check that out.
Yes. And also HCC virtual coffee breaks, something that I could do right now and grab a cup of coffee with coworkers and Janet May, who is the Chief Human Resource Officer, and to continue chatting and adapting to our current reality, which honestly, some individuals are still trying to make the adjustment. So don't miss out on this. It really is.
It really is.
So it's happening tomorrow at 11 a.m. And there are going to be a lot of great things. Make sure you check your emails to register and just search coffee breaks.
Sounds good. And then we also have a lunch and learn, same kind of thing, but this is with your senior partner. Everybody has questions, but even employees at their own jobs have questions about things. How do I do this? Where can I find this? What is the policy for this? Stuff like that. But one of the best resources to have is what we call the senior partner in talent relations. We've changed their name several times, but their title rather, but that's what they are. And so they have answers for all these questions. And this Wednesday, July 28th at 11:30 a.m., you can register to check them out. Just check out your emails and use your own HCC email address to register, and you can get your questions answered.
Yes. Tony, have you ever heard the song that's like, money, 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 money?
Yes, I have.
That's so
I want some.
Right? Speaking of that, we have more free money with HEERF. The Higher Education Emergency Relief Fund is rolling out its third round of funding to respond to the COVID pandemic. The NHCC is receiving, y'all, $59 million for our students. So this is a great, I know, right?
A lot,
right,
million.
59 million, okay? For fall enrolled students can help get with the cost of tuition. Y'all, this is an opportunity that you do not want to miss. Get help with tuition, fees, books, supplies, housing, food, transportation, childcare, and healthcare. The request form is on My Eagle online. So come on.
And there's no reason, with all these free monies coming, there is no reason not to register. And you need to register, and you need to register now, right? We have 5 different ways, so many ways that you can register you can get on a class. We have on time, anytime, online anytime, rather. Online on a schedule where you meet like once a week or something like that, but it's still online. The hybrid lab where you go to the lab face to face. And then there's a hybrid course where you do both. You do online and you go to class. And then there's the full in-person class, normal face to face like we used to do. So we have all kinds of ways to take a class. And if you register now, you can get in some really, really neat classes, because a lot of them we're making them smaller because, especially the face-to-face things. So register now so you can get into the class that you want to get into, and just go to hccs.edu/now.
Yes. And speaking of cool things, tomorrow it will be Tasty Tuesdays when we will get a visit from the restaurant of our Museum of Fine Arts Houston, partnered with Le Jardinier. I hope I said that right. That stands
good. I'm glad you said it.
That stands
my French is not too great.
That stands for the garden. It will be interesting to talk. It will be interesting, and we have a lot more in store. So make sure that you stay tuned. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Okay. And just real quick, HCC Foundation co-here, Erica Stevens will be here, and we will see you next time. Love you. See you next time.